Yo, 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 we are streaming Not Quite Legends. Friend podcast returns. Please follow. Thank you. See you guys.
Oh, hey.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Yo, bro, you got a nice
Eagles.
ceiling.
Hello,
Nice
I love
ceiling,
Yeah, it
little
looks nice,
forehead
man.
action.
I love that ceiling.
Well, sweet. Sounds good. So, oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he
Bro,
is,
it's
the
been
man.
forever
There he
since
is.
I've seen you. Like,
The
it's
man.
been most
So
of
long.
you guys.
The man.
The
Yes.
myth, the legend.
This feels good. So thank you for coming in, Darius. Welcome to come whenever we do this. Right now, we're thinking of Tuesdays, maybe around 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, which would be 8:30 for you guys. And just talk about life, things we're learning. And the plan is to live stream it on YouTube and Twitch next week and slowly build up all of our online audiences if we have them, and just to talk and chill out. And it's always good for me talking with you guys, and I know for sure that we're in each other's lives for a reason, and we don't know what's going to come of this. So we just want to start it up now and see where it goes. And the idea is to have each of us leading the call at some point. I guess I can do it tonight, but I think it'd be fun just for each of us to, take turns leading the call, share things we're working on and whatever. And who knows, maybe we'll build up an audience of live people. I mean, we already have the Tanuki Toad team audience. We'll probably get a couple people on that. And there's a YouTube channel we already have. So this gathering is called the Not Quite Legends. So it's talking about things we're learning and stuff. And I don't know, it'll be fun. I mean, me and James and Kyle had the idea back in December with all the team chats, and now we're like, hey, we should try to
December again.
we should try to do this in a more organized way. And we put it off, and I say better late than never. And I think one of the biggest things is we want this to be something that we all contribute to and we all try to help grow. Because I think if somebody's carrying on, we have Toast, aka Sergeant Taco, aka Wabon Stick, way back in the day. And basically what we're doing is we're a group of friends, have done some gaming and other content together. We're just here to talk and share things that we learn as we grow ourselves, grow potential online businesses, bounce around ideas, anything like that, vent about stuff or reminisce about good times. We're all about all of that. So you're seeing this. If you're seeing this, you're not seeing it live. The next episode we will be doing live on YouTube and possibly on Twitch as well. We'll see. But we guess we'll introduce ourselves super quick. I'm Dallin Camland. I run a podcast, do some gaming stuff. I also do a lot of writing. Graduated in from BYU Idaho, back in April. And my name was Tanuki Toad on the interwebs, and some people still call me that. But yeah, it's kind of in the past. But yeah, that's me. I like learning, I like growing, and like talking. So this is a good outlet.
Yeah, and I'm James Canland, and I also have a YouTube channel. I started in gaming as Ice Luigi, if anyone remembers Ice Nation. So good times. But now I do like animation videos and talking about animation. I have a podcast called Rupees Over Ramen, and I got a degree in illustration, so I'm trying to be an artist. It's hard to make money, but it's fun.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Nolan Wilford. I go by Toast, Tapa Toast, Nolan, whatever. I used to be Wabonstick back in the olden days. But I'm just full-time student right now, working on my IT management degree, just trying to bust through school, make that money.
Yeah. I want to find like some like, I don't know, smaller candy company and make a Wabon stick like candy bar. Like
I don't even know what a Wabon stick is.
Does anybody know what a webcomic stick
Nobody
is?
knows what it is. I don't know what it is.
It sounds like one of those like staves like that I don't know that
No, I
like a monk would have.
my brother came up with it when I was like 9 years old for a username for Battlefront 2 on the PS2.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was that around the time that he was Bacon Slug or
Before that,
Yeti Snow Beast?
Snow Beast or
something?
one of those.
That was yeah, that was before Bacon Slug for sure.
Yeah, gotcha.
Snow Beast, something
Playing
like
like Congregate, remember that? Oh my gosh, that was
that. Oh, yeah. I was 2-man 30, I think.
that was Magnum 88.
I was Indy 14.
Those were the days, man.
That was
Those
a
are
long
great.
time ago.
If you saw
That's
my
forever ago.
my course when it was on like the main homepage of platform racing too.
Yeah. All right, Kyle.
Yeah, so my name is Kyle or Mini Beast, as most of you guys know me as. Haven't really changed the name. Probably should sooner or later, but
Hey, I mean,
the
if
name-
it works, it works.
Yeah, the name hasn't changed, but yeah, no, I'm finishing up my college degree here in December for IT management as well. So that's
Nice.
cool. Yeah, trying to get into all of that, and as Nolan said, make monies. You know, it's not easy, but gotta make some monies. But yeah, you know, still doing the whole game and stuff. Don't really do YouTube too much anymore. Just
Stream.
yeah, I stream sometimes. Just kind of lost the urge to do the content creation stuff. Took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, so
Yeah.
just lost the urge.
I'm in the same field. I just game for fun.
Yeah. I do a lot of competing now and stuff like that too, like in online
really?
tournaments. Yeah, I'll do like online tournaments and stuff like that for like
What
League
do
of
you
Legends.
compete for? Oh, you compete for League?
Yeah,
I didn't know you played League.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, Toast loves League.
Oh, for
I
real?
just-
we
I
just-
play League all the time.
we
That's
just
awesome.
watched like the
We just watched
Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun time. So if you guys, so now I can actually talk about this reference of the 16 people on a call. There were 16 people on a call watching Worlds together.
Oh, yeah.
gotcha.
And
That makes
so-
sense.
And so I
Yeah.
bet it was crazy.
Yeah, nobody. I think Discord pooped on itself a few times, and just like we were all talking at once, and then suddenly all the audio just like cut out, and
We,
so like it's like nobody could hear anybody for like a second.
one of my friends is the officer for like a gaming club at a college, and so they rented out like one of the conference rooms at a hotel. Like we
Oh my
put it on
gosh.
like a projector.
That's pretty epic.
It was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Sick.
And Darius.
Yeah, my name's Darius. And I used to go by Fox Splash, which is funny because I use that for a lot of other things. But Fox Splash, that was me. I work at this place called Wolfspeed, and I'm just getting a certificate in cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to go to college for like so many different things, but now I'm on the road to getting a certificate. A lot of mistakes I've made in the past, but it's all good because, you know, I'm learning and I'm still pushing forward. So, you know, it is what it is.
It
And
is what it is.
It is what it is.
This is true. Yeah, so now that we've introduced everybody, let's talk a little bit about why this exists. So one thing is just that we've been friends for a while, doing the gaming channel back in the day with Mario Party and Eduardo Samurai Toaster and others. And we found that we enjoy just talking with each other and staying in touch with each other and each other's lives. And we also know that we were able to build like a little bit of a community with the gaming channel. We hope the same thing for Not Quite Legends, to spread good vibes and inspiration and just be a safe place for anybody who might be having a rough time, you know, just to relate, have somebody to relate to. And yeah, I think it's a big part of it. And just to yeah, just help out any of us. I don't know if I'll be able to be in every call. I don't know if James will be in every call, but the call will be available for people if we want to just vent or talk, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think kind of like Dallin said, we're all like a close group of friends that doesn't really get to talk too much anymore because we all are like super busy. We all like have like our own like lives now. It almost feels like.
True. All adults.
Yeah, if we say we're all adults, we're like man children now. It's like, it's more difficult than, hey, let me go walk down the street. It's
true.
I would have to get on a plane for I think most of you guys. So it's cool to be able to just chill out and talk with you guys, kind of like the old days.
Yeah, because like doing the channel, we realized, at least like one thing that I saw was we really loved being around each other, and we had a lot of chemistry with each other. Like we could make each other laugh and make others laugh. And like that was a huge thing with our channel, was like the greatest laughs in montage videos, and I still go back and watch those to get a good laugh and stuff. Because it's funny, I did stand-up comedy, but not stand-up. I can't do stand-up. I did improv comedy. Not many things make me laugh, but going back and watching those videos, I can always get a good laugh out of that.
That warms my heart. Do you know how much time we put into those, man? Oh my gosh. That almost makes you want to make part 6 or 7 or whatever.
No, let it rest.
I know. It's dead. It's dead, and it's gonna lay in peace as it's finally gotten the rest it deserves. There's been so many analogies I've thought of, because like initially it was like the Great Descent, and it was like an airplane, and now I don't know. I'm glad it's done. I'm just spinning this.
I was about to say, was that a fidget spinner?
Yeah.
I saw it too, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Life has been kind of stressful. Not like I didn't have a job for like 2 months. Got to travel to Alaska and Florida for FSY for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was a counselor, and then for Podfest I was an attendee, so I got to learn about other podcasters and stuff. But life is difficult sometimes, really difficult, and it's like you have to have meaning in the struggle. I feel like video games do such a good job of that. It's like, this game is really difficult or whatever, like Elden Ring or whatever, but you have such a clear idea of what you're going after. You'll start again immediately.
Yeah, and you have achievements, and you have things that like you're working towards. And
true, I can't life be a video game.
What if it is a video game?
Oh my, here we go. We're 5 minutes in, and now we're talking about the real meaning of life already.
Episode 1, meaning of life.
I think it's one thing that I was thinking about is like, as we get older, there's so many more opportunities for us. Like me and Toast, we went to Comic-Con, and that was my first time going.
Yeah,
we didn't go
fun.
to Comic-Con because it can't be called Comic-Con, but
right,
went to FanX
Salt Lake.
In Salt Lake, and it was
a couple years ago.
Awesome.
Comic-Con in San Diego sued them because of the amount of attendees at Comic-Con at Salt Lake. I think it had more attendees than the one in San Francisco, so they sued them for the name, so they lost it. So now it's just FanX.
Going off of what you were talking about with the like opportunities that we have now, that like we like growing up or whatever. It's funny. So obviously I've played video games since I was like 10, and I met a longtime friend now when I was like 11 or 10 or something like that. And I actually just this past February got to meet him for the first time.
In person?
Yeah, in person.
Nice.
And so
that's
like
cool.
That's like one of the coolest things. It's like, we met each other online thinking, whatever, it's cool. He was cool to play with, right? I'll add him to my friends list. And now 10 years later, not only do we still talk and play games, but now I know his family. I know I'm going to his wedding next year. Like, it's cool. Just like, there's like, it's cool the amount of opportunities that like just pop up out of nowhere that you would have no idea would have ever happened if you didn't just like weren't in these exact spots at this exact time.
It's like just happened to be in that game lobby.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if Dallin didn't just like happen to move in at the house he did, if like, I would never have met like most of you guys. Like, maybe Darius, I may have met you, but like, it's like for the rest of you guys, I would not have met you if Dallin and James had moved into that exact house. Met for sure. So it's like, and like that goes for like a lot of people that I've met through you guys. So, it's crazy to think about like how many like things can change if you like aren't in these exact spots at these exact times. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you never know what life has in store for you.
True.
It's a continuous journey.
Life loves throwing wrenches.
I feel
like ranch.
I said I do like ranch, but I said life loves throwing in wrenches.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard ranch too, and I was just going,
but ranch is scrumptious. No, I love ranch.
Ranch is good. Ranch it up.
I'm not the biggest fan unless it's like on some certain things.
But I don't think any of us are chugging ranch.
Well, yeah, we ain't chugging ranch.
I don't know. One of these streams you'll see me with a bottle of ranch. Just
some carrots and celery. Make it into like a little smoothie.
Tasty.
That's gross.
That's rough.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think of like some certain moments of my life where I have two really good choices, but I feel clear like do not choose this one. It doesn't make any sense. But then down the road, I look at like what stories I'm able to tell, which is what stories I'm not able to tell. Like I had this pretty good internship I was gonna get, and I felt like I shouldn't take it. I'm like, what the heck? And then got a job digging up potatoes with a couple friends, and I started my podcast while I was there, you know, in the midst of that experience. So I feel like when you're in these spots, it puts you in a good position to create new things. You know, I think of like the pandemic and other things that's happened in our lifetime. Think of all the crazy innovation that happened from that. And I think of some of the difficult times I've had in my life. You know, I haven't gone through anything super ridiculously difficult, maybe super ridiculously difficult for me, but you know, there's obviously people going through harder things, but there's innovation and there's really cool stuff that happens out of that. Because what's the other choice?
I think, like, to bounce off of that, I don't think like anybody, like what anybody goes through is gonna be harder than anybody else's, right? Like at the end of the day, like what everybody's going through is like their own battles, right? Like at the end of the day, like nobody knows what's truly going through anybody's mind, like truly, and like unless you sit down and have a conversation with them, and even then you still don't know truly like what they're feeling and like all that kind of stuff, unless like you've gone through the same stuff. But no, I do find that interesting though, like how you worded that, like, you know, how it's like you don't really like the only choice you really have is to just keep going, right? Like you don't, like there's not like a turn back, because there's not like a, hey, if I just stop, everything stops. It's like, no, that's not how life really works. So you might just want to keep going, and eventually it might change, it may not, but I promise life's not going to stop just because you want it to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I know it's true. Like I was watching it's like a podcast. It's like the Creative Pep Talk, which being a creative, I need pep talks many times. And like it was talking about how in our lives, like we are trying to figure out like what our thesis is, like what our main idea is, like what we're working towards. And throughout life, we have antitheses, whatever that English term is, like things that go against that thesis, that come and like push against us.
Antithesis? How do you say that?
Antithesis?
I think it's antithesis.
Is it antithesis?
Maybe.
Antithesis, the flowering period of a plant from the opening.
It is
of the
antithesis, yeah.
Oh, interesting. That is really interesting how that's a definition in there too. Because like that pressure, it's kind of like it turns like, I think it's like carbon or something. It turns that into like a diamond. Like pressure creates diamonds. And like that pressure, that antithesis, even with plants, like it can make like that bud to sprout into like
turns us into diamonds. Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, like it's the same like theory that it's like people will like mature more off of like experience than like age, right? Like, you know, you can meet somebody that's like 25 years old, but like if all they did was like live off like mommy and daddy's money, and like they've never had to like go through any hardships or anything like that, then it's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, you're probably still not going to be as mature as somebody who's like 18 and has had to like work for everything and gone through all this stuff. And like, you know, that's not to belittle anybody or put anybody down, but that's just like the reality of it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say that you know, you've done a lot or you know a lot, if you know you just inherited a lot of your stuff and you know you haven't worked hard enough to even earn, I guess you could say, like the food on your plate. Like he was always given that silver spoon. And I think that's part of the cool part of adulting, because you're no longer a child anymore. So you regardless of what you want to do, like you can't go to mommy and daddy and be like, whoa, this day was hard. It's like, you know, you kind of just have to go through it and just deal with it, however you cope with it. But yeah, I mean, things happen and you just have to know how to maneuver through it.
Yeah. And the thing is, everyone's journey is different. Like even if like regardless of your situation, you get to choose like what you do with your resources and the things around you. And like it's like with artists, like they always talked about in college, like the difference between you and a super successful artist is they failed a lot more times than you have. And like failing and making mistakes is going to teach you so much more, because you're like, oh, okay, so that did not work, I'm going to try this in a different way. And then you realize like how it works, rather than someone trying to tell you these things. Sometimes that doesn't work. Like sometimes you're like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to listen to you. But when you actually fail, like for yourself, and you're like, okay, this didn't work, why didn't this work? And then you like work through that, it can help you to learn and grow like a ton. I learned that a ton, like on my mission, and then also just with like YouTube and stuff, like trying to make content, make things that apply to people and that I enjoy making. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, that didn't work, or I'm like, that was really interesting, I really like that. And that's kind of what led me into podcasting, because I really like talking about things and I wanted to do some more with that.
That reminds me, like the one thing that I learned from 6th grade English class is I still remember it. I had this one teacher, and like in the first week he told us, he was like giving this whole speech about like, you know, failing is great and everything, but like he said, failing is just an acronym for first attempt in learning. And I was like, you know, a lot of times people see like if you fail something, then that's it. If you failed, it's like, oh, you failed, you're done. But like you can always try again. Sometimes, at least like me personally, sometimes I don't see that. Like I like to get down on myself a lot, like when I don't succeed, because I have really high expectations of myself. So like when you don't succeed, it's easy to give up.
I think it's hard to see failing as a positive, right? Like I don't think any of it, like I think I'm very similar to you in that I don't like failing. Like at the end of the day,
I don't think anybody likes.
Okay, there's like, how about this? I am not comfortable in failing. Is that a better way of putting it?
Okay, that's fair.
Like yeah. I put a lot of high standards on myself and pressure on myself, because I know what I can do, right? And so it's like, you know, if I don't meet the expectation of myself, which is the expectation of myself is like succeeding in whatever I'm doing, then it's like, okay, it's hard for me to like look at that and say, oh, well, that's what happened today was a good thing, right? Like a good example was, we talked about this like a few minutes ago before we started everything, but like I compete in League of Legends tournaments, right? Nice dab.
I was sneezing.
No, I know.
That
was a good mute though, I will say that. But no, like, so I was competing, and we got into all the way to the semifinals, which was like really far in this tournament. There's like 20 teams we faced against. And we got all the way up to the top 4, and we just got smacked. Like it was like not even close. In a best of 5, we got like 3-0, and it was like done. And I remember like talking to some of the guys after that, and I mean, I was devastated. Like it was just like my brain was so done. And I remember like everyone was like Minnie, like it's not like on you, like, you know, like I know you're gonna like put like a lot of pressure on yourself and stuff like that, but like that was not all on you. And like for like a week I felt it was just like, oh, this sucks. Like I don't even like want to like look at the game. I don't want to like look at the replays of that game. I just want to like move on and forget about it. And you know, like I look back at it and I'm like, you know what, it was the first season I've ever played with these guys. Half those guys have never competed in anything like that before. That was not a bad season to start. You know what I'm saying? Like there's next season is going to come, but that was not a bad season to start. And you know, it's like you said, just being comfortable with failing. It's something you learn.
I'm glad you're able to see the positive in that. It's good.
Yeah, and like sometimes you like end up learning like something that you were missing. Like with me, I wanted to make an animated show all by myself when I was a little like younger, and I started working on it, started like writing scripts and like creating characters and worlds and stuff. And I'm like, why isn't this working? And then I like beat myself up about it a ton. And then I was watching like an animated short that's like 5 minutes long. And then saw all of the people that went into making that and being like, you can't do this alone. Like there's some things that you need people around you that are going to support you and have different skill sets than you have to be able to accomplish like those great things. It's like you need a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child.
Well, it's true because like we all have blind spots, right? Like I have my focus, I have my expertise. You know, I graduated in marketing. I imagine myself becoming like a marketer and being able to help out businesses with writing or copywriting. I've had a couple interviews for that. But there's some other things that's like I don't understand really much of what's going on there. And if I try to literally learn that thing or do that thing without really learning much about it, it could be like a semi truck running into me. It's just going to be a really hard awakening. But on the other hand, if we have like this fleet of vehicles, we got the graphic designer, we got the copywriter, we got all these other people, then we can like, you know, move like we can move like that group in cars, you know, all those hood people with all the lights and stuff, like pushing the truck back and forth, and they're in the zone, they're loving it, you know, and that's flow state, which, you know, for me, if you can find people or you can find an activity that you can get into flow state with, like you've basically, I wouldn't say won at life, but you've basically found one of the key things to finding joy is having joyful creation, finding things that you can really enjoy. You know, if we were to record a Mario Party video right now, like if we were all in my apartment or something, I can promise you, although it'd be fun, we wouldn't be as into it as way back in the day. Because way back in the day, we were zeroed in, focused. We were completely sold on it. We were all going in. Mm-hmm. But times have just changed, and we know what is life now. And for now, this is something I can get really on board with.
Yeah, no, and it's like you talked about like flow state, right? And it's like, I think that's like, I know that was not like your main point in that, but like I really like zeroed in on that point that you talked about with like, it's super simple to try to like be good at everything, right? Like everything that you do, right? You can sit there and try to be like really, really good at everything you do, but 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be great at everything that you try to do, right? And so it's like just finding the things that like you're good at and just like clamping onto them, I think is like always has been like a super important thing for me in the past like couple of years. You know, just like finding the things I enjoy and that I'm good at and just running with those couple of things, right? You know, so like I found out that like I said, like I really like enjoy competing and stuff like that. And so like now I do this, just little things like that. Just find out what you enjoy in life and take off and run with it.
That's cool. So what role do you play in League?
I am a jungler.
No way.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I've played for like 7 seasons now. I've competed for like 5.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why whenever I brought up that like nobody else had competed for like over a year, and I've been over here for like 5 years, and I'm like,
okay. So you had been competing for a while, and you joined a team that was new.
Yeah. So it was like it's like one of those things where like, and this like goes back to flow state, right? Where like I know I'm good in like these situations where like, okay, you just give me like the analogy I always use is like I'm like the driver and I've got like passengers with me, right? And I'm like, look, you guys have the map. I just need you to tell me like what's coming up on like my left and right, and I promise I can guide us down this mountain, right? And that's usually like that was like my role, was that I was like kind of like quote unquote leading us like down like a mountain or whatever. And that's why like whenever we lost it was like, okay, well, I led us down the mountain and I was doing somersaults down the mountain in the truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I said, it's always fun to really like find stuff that you're good at and just like run with it. Like I said, it's a lot of fun to like be good at stuff. And that's what I've realized. Like it's not fun to suck at stuff.
True.
I think James.
Oh, I was just gonna say, another thing with that is a lot of times, if like there's something that you really want to be good at, when you first get started, you're not gonna be very good at it. You're gonna suck at it, and you're gonna have to work at it. Like, it was interesting, like going and being an art major, because I didn't really do much art in high school and stuff. I did robotics and math and science, but I was like, I really want to tell stories, and I felt like I was constantly behind. But a lot of my professors, they're just like, you really just have to kind of put in the time, but also as you do something more, you enjoy it more and you get better at it. And that's a spiral that can keep going up and up and up and help you to become better at something.
Yeah, a lot of it is just not letting yourself lose that momentum once it's going.
I don't think learning stuff is linear though.
No,
I don't think it's like, it's not a straight line of like you're going to constantly improve, that it's like you're going to like and like it's funny, I started playing golf this past year too, and like I love it, but that sport alone has taught me learning is not linear. Because I one day will go and hit the golf ball so well, and then I will come back the next day and I will suck. Like it'll be awful. And so it's like that sport alone has taught me, okay, learning is not linear. Just because you put a crap ton of time into something does not mean that you're going to like start succeeding and being good at it over time. You have to make sure that like you're learning the correct way and that you're actually like doing things the correct way to like improve, I guess.
Yeah, it has to be like purposeful. Like what you're doing has to be planned. And like, I don't remember what it's called, but there's like this weird chart. Maybe you guys have heard of it. It's like when you first start at something, like right after you first started something, you're like, dang, I'm pretty good at this. And the more you learn about it, you're like, dang, I don't understand this. Like I suck at this. And you kind of go through like this cycle of like, as you learn more, you realize how little like you know in something, and that's not a bad thing. Like that's how we all learn, and that's how we all improve.
Yeah, and Nolan can understand this pretty well. The league base is so big that like if you hit like the rank that I'm at, it's like the top 10% of players, which sounds insane, right? But when you look deep into like that number, it is like a couple million people have reached what I've done. It's like
what rank are you at?
I'm plat.
Okay, yeah.
It's like I think I'm like 5 or 7%, something stupid like that of players. Yeah. But that's still like multiple million of players have done what I've done. Mm-hmm. So it goes to show you like how like little I still know, even though I'm quote unquote top 5%.
Yeah, that reminds me. In Rainbow Six Siege, I was top 1% of the world, but like there was still people that were so much better than me. It was crazy because I was top 1% in the world, but like the pro league was like miles ahead of where I was. So it like really shows like in like in competitive games like how big that gap actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of it just kind of goes back to what we said earlier about being in a good place at a good time and getting started early and stuff like that. But yeah, that's good stuff though. I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind, and it just really furthers the fact for me, the quote, like if you want to go fast, go by yourself. And if you want to go far, go with the group. We go with the team, like remember playing Dungeon Siege and stuff back in the day. We never went in any of those dungeons really alone, because when we had a whole team of people that covered different weaknesses and stuff, that's when we killed it. So we have about 2.5 minutes left. So if anybody has any concluding thoughts, we can do that, and then we'll just finish up the chat.
I don't know. Good seeing you guys, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's really good seeing you guys.
Yeah, I see Dallin and James pretty regularly. James is in my house, he's downstairs. So I see him every day. And Dallin used to live with us, so I see him. But like Kyle, Darius, I haven't seen you in like 10 years, so I probably look like a whole different person.
You have white hair now.
I do, yeah. I got long white hair.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I haven't talked to some of you guys some of y'all since the last team chat. Some of y'all since, Darius, I don't even remember. But it's like, it still just flowed. It all just flowed still. It's just as easy if it was yesterday.
It'd be fun to get Ezra in here. I haven't seen Ezra in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen him either.
He just comes in with his kids, and we're like, wait,
he's holding like kids. He's like 3
giant beard.
What? I didn't know you had kids.
No, we don't know. We don't.
Okay, I was like,
we have absolutely no clue.
No rumors.
No clue.
I can totally see that though.
I totally could too.
It'd be so funny, like 2 years in the future, like a couple of us have kids, and they're like having a chat.
We're reaching that point, right? Where like some of us are gonna be that stage of life, marriage, kids. I mean, that's like not far for some of us.
Yeah, well, I'll look forward to next time. We'll do this live next time. But I love you guys. Catch you guys later. Enjoy. Everybody on YouTube or wherever. Subscribe and don't miss the next one. Thank you.
See you guys.
That was fun.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen.
No way. No way, dude.
We have made it.
Poggers.
We've officially made it.
Nice. Everything looked good. All audios, everything good.
Looks fantastic.
Yo, shoot, it looks good.
Everything looks fantastic.
Good job, Kyle.
No problem.
My computer's not quite powerful enough.
The power. The power.
Well, and so you got the music playing?
Yep, everything's good to go.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Sounds good.
Cool. So, hey everyone, we are back with another episode of Not Quite Legends. Episode 2, we're going to be talking about where it all started. Let everyone introduce themselves.
I'm Dallin. I graduated from BYU Idaho back in April, and I love writing and kind of some kiddish stuff and video games and whatever. And yeah, that's basically me.
Yeah, and I'm Kyle. If you guys remember his Mini Beast, and yeah, gaming's a good hobby of mine. Sports, stuff like that. Yeah, simple guy.
And I am James, and I am just finishing up college, looking for work right now, studying illustration and animation. So, yeah.
Yo.
Good stuff. So, yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about where it all started. So, just since
I mean, I could also introduce myself.
You just cut him right off.
Well, it's like, I didn't know what we wanted to do.
Yeah. I'm Nolan. I go by Toast these days. Just going to school, gaming, hanging out with friends, in my free time. So that's much it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Now you can continue.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so we're going to talk about where it all started today. If you have any thoughts or anything, just put it in the chat. We will have that on the stream as well, so that will be cool. I'm not sure. Does anybody have that open? Because I don't have that.
I will be able to read it, yes.
Okay, cool.
I'll probably chime in every once in a while, but I won't be profusely reading it.
Sounds good. Yeah, so we're just going to talk about kind of where it all started, how our friendship came to be, right? Because there's some pieces of the puzzle that kind of had to come together. I think the most beautiful part of this, before we even get into this, is that none of us knew this was going to happen. So before we even moved from one state to another state, our families had spent a lot of time, my family and then Nolan's family, we'd spend a lot of time together. Nolan's family moved around a pretty good amount, and then we were just kind of staying where we were. And then at one point, Nolan's family moved farther away, and we're like, well, that's it. And then we visited them, and our mom, me and James's mom, was like, wait a second, yo, I think we should move here.
This place lit.
6 months later, we moved there. Found a house, everything just kind of fell into place really well. So that's kind of the first thought is we didn't realize how beautiful this puzzle was going to be because we didn't really even know there was a puzzle at all. we were just living life. But little did we know, God was putting the puzzle together. So that's something that we literally saw happen. And so when we got there, there was only just
Sorry, I actually I need to head out now, boys.
No worries. We love you, brother. Catch you later. So we moved there and went on faith, and then, you know, we got to spend some time together. And then slowly I met Kyle and his brother Nick, Joker, and then we played sports and stuff. And yeah, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but that's kind of where it started initially.
Yeah, no, it's funny because, you know, I've lived in the same spot really for most of my life, right? So, you know, it's one day, you know, these neighbors roll up, you know, they're moving in, and, you know, we see these two goons, you know, they come out, you know, they're playing basketball, and I think that was like one of the first things y'all did was just like come meet us, and like I wanted to come play basketball and stuff. And it's crazy to think that, you know, like I said, you know, we randomly, you know, met each other through that, and you know, we're able to just like, you know, grow it into something. You know,
yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, most people, I don't think, like back then, you know, YouTube was just like such a small thing, right? You know, we did this back in like what, 2010, I think.
2012, yeah.
2012, yeah. So I mean, YouTube was like not anywhere near where it is now. Where like now it's like every kid's got a YouTube channel, right? Like there's almost, if you didn't start a YouTube channel, you're weird, right? Like, whereas like, you know, back then it's like nobody ever thought to do what we did. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were pretty early to the gaming realm, so we would spend time. Sometimes Ezra, our friend, would have these like movies that we need to do for like projects, and we literally go in random people's backyards to film these videos. Like that one time where we were in this guy's backyard, and I'm like, what are we doing? But we had such a good time. We were like making like war videos and pretending pretending to do all this stuff. And so it really like started from that. So like there was these beautiful like chemistry moments, little experiments that ultimately led to the Tanuki Toad team experiment, the YouTube experiment, where we did that together. So James, do you have anything to comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like we had a really awesome, I guess, situation that we were in, because we grew up like on the East Coast and we lived at the end of a street. It's kind of sad because now they've like knocked down the woods and like there's a road that goes through it. But we lived at the end of the street, so there's no outlet. So like no one ever really came down there. So we were able to use like basically 100 yards of road for like football, definitely like two-hand touch. We weren't tackling right into the ground, like asphalt. That would be ridiculous. Or like kickball, we had a court, like a cul-de-sac nearby, and we would play kickball there, and baseball. We never broke any windows, surprisingly. And yeah, it was just a super awesome experience growing up.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, we did like the stupidest stuff. You know, I remember there was one game. What was it like? We played volleyball like indoors or something like that. What was the game we did indoors?
Didn't we play baseball?
Baseball, that's what it was. Baseball. We played baseball indoors. Not with a real baseball, but like, you know, we did baseball indoors. We did hours and hours of gaming. You know, we were just kids being kids, and you know, it was a lot of fun, and I think we all look back really fondly on that kind of stuff. At least I do. You know, we set up like a little like a fort thing in your garage too, or like we would play like what was the DS game, the
Metro Prime Hunters.
Yeah, Metro Prime Hunters.
Yeah.
That was hours and hours of just playing that game.
Yeah, there's like a time that we played it in your garage, and I was like sitting on top of a trash can.
Yeah, like it was the total kids being kids. Like that's all this was, and you know, it's something that when you're young, you don't realize what you're doing, but when you're older, you're like, man, I'm so glad we did that. I wish I could like just go back one day, just for one day, go back and just play Metro Prime Hunters in the garage on top of trash cans. You know, it's like.
It was so pure. I can hear like Nick in my mind say like, oh, he's got double damage, or he's got death halt, and he's like running around with like this alt is basically like Metro Prime Hunters. Like you have like, it was like a first person shooter, but
the
like
nostalgia.
The death halt turns you into your alt form. So for Samus, which all the players who didn't have the game would use would all be Samus and would move around and stuff. But that game was so sick. Honestly, that game was sick. I would, if they remade it, I would play it for sure. I don't really play any FPS nowadays, but if they remade that, I would make an exception. Because I felt like the maps, I honestly think it was ahead of its time. I just
100% it was.
Solid game. It's like 20 maps or something.
And I remember, like, we were all like super big into Pokemon back in the day. And I remember for our birthdays, you had completed like the Pokedex on, like, I forgot what game it was. And so what you would do is, like, you would like game share us one Pokemon from that, like, from your game. And like I remember, like, I was so hyped for that. It was my birthday because it was like, yes, I get to, like, Dallon's gonna give me something cool. And like, I don't know, it's little stuff like that was just like, it's childhood memories, man.
Yeah. I found out about how to duplicate your Pokemon in Pokemon Emerald. So I was giving you like the exact same thing. It wasn't like a loss on me, but it's still at the same time was like a joy to you, you know? And it sort of makes me think of just being kind in general. Like, it costs no money at all. It doesn't cost any money, but it can make a real difference for somebody.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, there's like, I don't like, in my memory, we were up like super late, but there was one day that we played football and it was like the street lights went out. Like, we were up pretty late, like outside playing football. In my mind, it was like we were up all night. I don't know, but it was just like one of those experiences. You're just like, you don't do that anymore. It's just, they're these awesome memories that you can look back on.
Well, like one of the things I remember was like when me and Dallin, we do around the world for basketball, right? And so, you know, you had to make a certain shot to keep going. I remember this one time, it's like super hot outside, and we couldn't finish the game. Like, we were just struggling so bad to make shots. And I finally, like, it was like probably an hour or two of just playing it. And finally Dallin was just like, screw it, I'm gaming this shot, I don't care. And he made it on the game, and I was like, all right, I'm done. We're done. You won. I don't care. Like, and it was awesome. Just like I said, there's so many like little mini memories that we could all talk about for hours.
Yeah.
But like, the only reason why we played around the world was because my dad and I made like this course, if you want to call it that, of like, you do these shots.
Yep.
And then my dad taught me, and I can still hear it in my mind saying like, are you gonna game it? Yeah. You know, it's like there's bet, like you miss, and it's like, okay, whatever. Then it's like, if you want to bet it, then you'll go down one spot, which isn't a big deal at all. You can make up that ground. If you life it, then you go back down to 1, which in around the world it's 1 to 9, and then back down 9, 8 down to 1, and then you win. If you game it, then you automatically lose if you miss. And it's always like, gaming it was always like, oh, I don't know about that, but sometimes you just kind of
take matters in your own hands.
Yeah, you just go all in.
So that happened a couple times where somebody would game it and then they'd make it, and it's like, oh shoot, because it's like, okay then. Yeah, we did a lot of different stuff with that. We'd make like, I know we made a couple shortcuts, like this shot will skip you through a couple of the numbers, and then we also we just had a lot of good times with that. So we had a lot of opportunities to build each other up from those memories. And I mean, before I got into track, I think we did a ton of stuff, and we still did a ton of stuff after I got into track. But
yeah, what was y'all's favorite moments during recording sessions? What was, like, if there's like one that sticks out in your memory?
Oh, Tanuki Tochi? There's a lot.
Yeah, I think one is like let's call them the surprising, like unexpected moments. Like when like Ezra would walk through the door or something would happen. It's just like everyone gets super hyped because you're so happy to see like somebody you haven't seen in a long time. Like one of them was with the 4-year special. I remember like getting you and as Mephiles there and being able to like just like reconnect, and it was just super awesome, like being able to get together for that. I really enjoyed specials, like Halloween specials, like when we were live streaming and stuff too. Like that was tons of fun doing like Christmas specials, Halloween stuff.
Dallin, you got anything?
I have plenty. One that definitely stands out to me is doing the Ninbuzz spotlight. So we had like a camera on top of some encyclopedias pointed at our TV, and so it really wasn't that high of quality at all. But we had a pretty good.
None of us took a picture of that.
We had a pretty good angle of it, and yeah, like I remember the Ninbuzz spotlight was this thing held by like this 100K subscriber YouTube channel, and they're like, hey, just send us a video, one of your videos, and if we like it, then we'll share it in the next Ninbuzz spotlight. And I'd send some of our Melee videos and some of our Mario Party videos, and then I sent in some of our Mario Kart videos, and then one of the Mario Kart videos, the Star Cup video, was the one that got picked up by them and it was shared. And I remember getting back home from school or whatever and seeing that Mario Kart 64 was in the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, and I clicked on it, and then it was like our channel was in their description. I'm like, holy cow, this is the big time. And I think we got 20 subscribers from that in the next day or so. And one of those was Miguel, who ended up becoming one of our most like well-known subscribers. We'd see him all the time in streams and everything like that. But it was from this 2013 thing of me continuing to push it out and believing in our content just enough that I would show it. And then that just led to, that was just a form of legitimacy, you know, it just legitimized it. By then we weren't even doing it for a year, and we were already at like 60 or so subscribers, which is kind of nothing in today's standards. But back in 2013, there weren't as many people on YouTube, and we were getting pretty good views, and it was cool. There's a bunch, but I think that's one that I would share, at least for this audience, because it just reminded me that you don't have very much time for certain things. Ninbuzz Spotlight is completely dead. It went on for another 6 or 7 months, and then it ended. Meaning that if 7 months later from that day, I was like, oh, our content's good enough, now we have a capture card, let me share with them, it would have been already too late. Maybe Miguel would have never found our channel, you know? But because I was like, hey, it's good enough, I enjoy it, might as well, that's what led to all the other things. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of what I'm seeing right now too in my own life, is like, you just gotta put yourself out there. I mean, if you're ready to go, you don't even have to be ready to go, but if you're like, if you want to see that new destination, well then pick up your anchor and go, because ships are safe in a harbor, but that's not what ships are for.
Yeah. One of my favorite memories was definitely there was one time we recorded an entire Mario Party map and realized that the batteries had died about halfway through. And it was just, we all just looked at each other and just went, okay, cool. You guys ready to run it again? And I mean, it's like, you know, those Mario Party maps aren't short, man. Like, they were cut up into like 7 parts of like 15-minute parts, like, or 10-minute parts even. I don't even remember which one we did, but like, those are not short videos. So, you know, we just spent an hour of like, you know, it's, you know, I don't know about y'all, but, you know, when we'd record those, it was kind of exhausting after a while, right? You know, you'd record for over an hour, and, you know, you were beat and, you know, excited. So, you know, it takes a lot out of you. And, you know, it was like, we just looked at each other and went, all right, you guys ready to go? It's like, it was just, all we could do was laugh and smile about it. You know, and then of course you had the one where my head goes about halfway up into the camera during mid-recording. That was the beautiful one. There's so many good memories, man. You know, there's tons of times where we just sat there talking about what we're doing next for recordings and stuff like that, coming up with ideas. It's just, I'm surprised there was no fights, honestly, but there was never a fight. It was all just, it all ran smooth.
Yeah. There were like just being honest, there were times that after the fact, like with me living where it was shot, there was a lot of stresses of me being like, oh snap, this capture card isn't working anymore, or like this cord is too short now, this needs to be done, or whatever. Especially when there was a time when we first started using the capture card where we were like using this really old computer to record it on, before we had, and because our TV was one of those giant like
it's like, I don't think probably 40-inch.
Yeah, like what are those called, like vacuum tube monitors, like the super heavy thick ones. the thick boys, and we had to use that, and that was crazy. So like when we got it set up where we had the USB for the capture card, and we had it running like over
shelves and the books and the camera, the tripod and all that stuff, and then like James was talking about, whenever we got the capture card, it was shot on this like computer that was used by our great grandparents. Like it's just like it was so janky, but we made it work, man.
Yeah, when I was pointing up, I was saying like we had tape on our ceiling for a pretty good amount of time for a lot of the wiring to make that work.
Yeah, and it was electric tape, so it left marks.
That room will always be the recording room, Ben. Like I don't think I'll ever look at that room. You guys can make that room into whatever you guys want, but no matter what, I will always go look in that room and be like, "Yep, all right, the camera's about to turn on." Like,
yeah.
I mean, hundreds of videos.
Hundreds.
Like, when we first got started, like, I was keeping track on a clipboard of who played as who. So, I was like, oh, you need to play as this person because you haven't played as this person or something. That's how we took the first Melee video. And then we did those 21 videos. And then we did WarioWare after that. And then Mario Kart. And, yeah. So... it was there was definitely a lot of, but even before we had a YouTube channel, we did some recording in there too.
Yep.
You know, we put out a couple videos on Facebook before we even had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've gone back on Ezra's Facebook. He has some of like the old like Mario Kart videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, like with, I don't even know if he ever had a name, but we had a friend that came over. He'd always play as Donkey Kong in Mario Kart.
Were you guys ever surprised about how good our content like actually was, considering our age?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, wow, like this is entertaining, and there's things that people are creating now, and like I have a different taste than like everyone has different tastes, but there's things that people are creating now that like don't make me laugh, and like it's going back to videos like I'm like, wow, we are some funny kids, like, and our like the chemistry, it was, you could feel it in each of the videos.
I'm also like, it's just like even the gameplay I thought was pretty solid. Like, you know, considering we were all like just either young teenagers. I think I was like, what, 12? I mean, like I wasn't even a teenager yet when we first started this. And so it's like, considering all of that, I thought we were putting out some pretty quality stuff. Like it's like James said, I mean, there's people out there now that are 20 years old that aren't putting out nearly as good a content as us, you know? And I mean, that's sure, that's an ego talking out of me, but still, I thought, you know, for what we had and for how, like, the position in life that we were in, I thought that was, like, really good content with what we were doing.
I think there's a strong sense of purpose, and as we hope will happen with Not Quite Legends, and what we've seen so far is there's been a lot of group participation and a lot of group support, if you will. You know, I think none of us, I mean, although I basically carried a lot of the channel as far as uploading everything and stuff, you know, I did feel the support, especially more as time went on. And then when I went on my mission in end of 2015 and literally said, here, James, and James is like, I'll keep it going. I'll put the team on my back. I mean, I'll always be thankful for that, you know? I didn't have to do anything there. And because of what James did, there was people that found the channel that are still fans today, and the channel still gets views on old videos. Like, it's still, like, a lot of those WarioWare videos get 200 views every month on repeat. It'd be nice to make a couple dollars from them, but none of us started the channel for money. You know, that was never the beginning thing. It was like, we want to share our joy. We have these experiences on when we play games on the couch. We got to share some of these. We got to immortalize some of these, because right now, you know, they happen, but it's like nobody else sees it except us. You know, it's like if a kid, you know, wrote a super amazing story for a homework assignment and turns it in and gets 100. Well, fantastic. But let's say if that's the most amazing story ever created, and literally the only person who reads it is his teacher. So it was very selfless. We all wanted the best, and I was praying for subscribers some every night, you know. Please bless the Flow 596, whatever he's going through. And I used to have all their names, like a lot of our first like 50 subscribers, you know, like Super Saiyan Gamer and What are some other ones? I used to like 117 Pokemon Master, you know, because I knew these were real people. There's a potential to reach real people, and especially in our age group, that's a very, very, very vulnerable time.
Yeah.
And this is something that Miguel shared with us later, is that watching our videos helped him A, learn English, and 2, not get into any crazy stuff when he was like at that tender age. He's like, I never got into drugs. You know, I didn't join any gangs or anything because of your content. Like, that was like a big part of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that like we were trying to like work towards when we started it was we had like cousins and stuff that would watch YouTube, and we're like, the things that we would see what they were watching, and or just like it would influence like the way that they acted and stuff, and it's just like, that's garbage. Like, we really want to create something that is more like wholesome, but also just like entertaining and just like real. And like Dallin eating his salad
salad in the middle of the stream.
I know where that's from.
No, but like I agree with you, because like here's the thing, man. Like I was talking about earlier, I was like, what, 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so young. I wasn't thinking about changing people's lives then, man. I was what 12-year-old is thinking about that, right? At the end of the day, you just stuck a camera in front of me and said, hey Vinny, play this character, and I said, cool.
Yeah,
it's like you never think big picture then, right? You know, and I think now it's like, you know, I look back at it and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool what we were able to accomplish at such a young age for all of us. I mean, I think Ezra was really the only one that was like, I think he was like probably 17, something like that. Like, he was in his mid-teens probably. I don't remember exactly, so I'm not confident in saying that, but he was older than us, so at the end of the day, he was the only one that was really like realizing what we were actually doing. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, it's a lot easier now when I look back at it, but during the time, man, I was just doing whatever you guys were telling me to do. You know, it's just, you stuck a camera in front of me and told me to play a character, I said, cool, I'll do it, you know?
Yeah, it's like the people that you surround yourself with like impact you. Like, I was just thinking about it recently, how like I already was interested in art and stuff, but Ezra was one of those people that really got me interested in that, because I was over at his house and I saw like his sketchbook and all of his characters and stuff that he had drawn, and I'm just like, dang, this is so cool. Like, I want to do that, I want to try that. And it just all like a lot of the channel art came from that one drawing that he made. Yep. And then I colored.
That's still one of the best drawings I've seen, man.
Yeah.
Didn't you update that too?
Yeah.
That's insane as well. I'm sure we'll get that out sooner or later, but I mean, so talented, dude.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, like that picture in particular, and just those characters have a soft spot in my heart, and I think in the hearts of others too. Like, I can't remember, I think it's Rocky, I think, did some art for us and stuff, did fan art of like me and Dallin, and like, it's like, what? This is crazy. Like, there's people making fan art of us.
Yeah.
It was just like, even if it's just one person, it's like, it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I actually do have a question that we can answer. It came from Christian Prater. And
nice.
He asked, who are some of our role models?
It was my roommate in college.
Awesome, man.
Hello, Christian.
Glad to see
you. I know who that is. Hello.
Hey, it's great to have you here. Role models. So, I feel like in life you have role models that are like unreachable, possibly dead, like those like people that lived a long time ago, or maybe like super successful now that you've never really met before. And then you have role models that are closer to you. Some of those role models that are closer to me is like my uncle. We just know him as the Bullwinkle, and he helped us a lot in like growing the channel, giving us the capture card, and just always being willing to support us and like what we wanted to try out and what we wanted to do. And I had like lunch with him before going on my mission. It was just an awesome experience, and yeah, it was just really good. People that like I probably will never meet. One of them is Hayao Miyazaki. He did like Studio Ghibli films. Just the way that he sees the world, and it just always inspired me, and that's one of the reasons I got into art. Walt Disney's also one of the reasons. His story is pretty, even though like Disney's like kind of controversial now, like some people aren't big fans of Disney, like Walt Disney, the person, he was a really cool guy, and he went through a lot of struggles. He was homeless at one point, and like at one point slept in like the office that he worked in, and it's crazy like the success that came in his life. And I'm just like, it's okay if I struggle and if things don't always work out super well, like I can bounce back and I can improve and grow.
Yeah, so it's weird because I look at my life and like I say like, okay, like who's like my inspiration, like who do I like base my mindset on, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like I look, and like this may sound bad, but like I feel like I look at a lot of people and I'll like look at like what they did wrong, right? And I'll say, okay, how do I not do that, right? So like how do I change my world so I don't end up like that, right? And so like I think I do that quite a bit, but some people like in terms of like work ethic and things like that, I would say, you know, my first boss, Day was her name. She definitely taught me a lot when it came to the real world, you know, because at the end of the day, when you're 16, you don't really know a lot. You know, it's just kind of a, you know, your first job, you know, you're working in probably fast food or something like that. You know, you feel like most people don't learn a lot, but that was probably my first job where like I learned what it meant to like work and like how to have a good work ethic, you know, how to do things whenever nobody else is looking, right? You know, like it's stuff like that. In terms of content creation, I don't know. I never really like. I've watched YouTubers like Pro Syndicate and stuff like that from back in the day, but you know, I never like it. I wouldn't say my content was an inspiration from them or anything like that. But like I said, I think the biggest thing I do is just I try to make sure like that I hold myself to the highest standard I can, right? So you know, and that's want to make sure like I don't. Nobody else can hold me to a higher standard than myself, if that makes sense.
It's true.
Don't know if I answered the question well, but there you go.
No, I think that's good.
I thought of the Bullwinkle as well, James, which is kind of funny because he did. Like when we were showing commitment, he's like, "Hey, you could use this microphone. You could also use this capture card, and I can help you set it up and whatever." And so he never appeared in any videos, yet he was in the details of it and was a big part of it getting as far as it did. And not only that, I just had to tell the quick story. There's this game we play at the library sometimes called Pawn Game, and it was like this game where like all of your kills can get you better items and stuff, but it was like 10 players online, and so we all would jump on it and play together. And we were all playing online once, and then this guy, the Bullwinkle, jumps in at literally like 11:30 p.m. We're like, who the heck is this guy? And it was him. And I'm like, holy cow, he's just made a memory, dude. Like none of us are gonna forget that. That's not possible. So he's just he's a workhorse, and he's just very loving and caring person. I got to help with some of his primary 9 class, like at church. I'd help with teaching that before I went on my mission, and got to see him, you know, just teach the kids and share with the kids. So that was cool. And another one in the content creation world was Thomas Frank. I found his channel before I went on my mission. He had just come out with a book, and just was really inspired by his thoughts and just kind of connected with him. He had 50,000 subscribers when I met on my mission. I came back and he had 1 million, and I was like, oh boy, this guy now he has over 2 million, and he's making Notion courses, and he's just always stays so curious, and he's always staying so like teachable and learning all this stuff from different people. And he also loves himself enough to take himself out of games where he knows that he's already done his part, right? He already feels like, okay, I've already gone into that point, right? So he can put himself more in other ways. So for him, he had a podcast, the Informium podcast, the College Info Geek podcast as well. They're on the same umbrella house thing. And then it just kind of got to the point, and it's like, you know what? I love this, but I want to have this time back. And so even though I'm making money from this, even though this is fun, you know, I am stepping away. And I was like, oh shoot, dude. But now, he's had all this time to work on this other stuff. And for me, it's made me think about my own personal podcast, Heal Today with Down Canlin. And I'm like, do I want that time back? And for me, it's just so beneficial to be able to talk with other people and stuff. And so for me, I haven't gotten to that point where I'm making that similar decision. But there's a lot. Our cousin Clark is another giant one too. Well, it's me and James's cousin. It's Kyle's like second or third, fourth cousin.
somewhere
something like that.
Somewhere back there.
Those are two that I would say. And also our mom. She's always just been so inspirational. And
she was actually in the chat earlier as well.
There you go. Of course. We love her. Yeah. So
great woman.
Our dad's awesome as well. But yeah, there's definitely a lot in there. But that's a piece of the puzzle.
She's easily the most the nicest person I think I've ever met. Like I don't think I've ever seen her not in a good mood. I don't know. It's crazy. Great person.
Yeah, her mom is awesome.
I think one thing about her is she will go to great lengths, extreme lengths to help out somebody.
Yeah.
So it's there's not somebody that if somebody that she really cares about or is struggling is having a rough time, she'll drop everything and go and reach out to them. And that's something that I've tried to adopt into my own life is when, I see somebody like yesterday, I got back from this church thing. It's cold outside, got a bunch of food from the church function, which is where I got that salad from. So bless them. And there's this guy walking outside and I'm like, I should go offer him some food. So I went over to offer him some food and he's like, no, man, I'm good. I'm just trying to get a Sprite for my wife because she's sick. Ended up praying with him and praying for his wife and had a good little chat with him. And, at the time I was jamming out in my car. I was drumming and, just having a good time. But then I was like, I need to go talk to that guy. And so I did. And it was cool. But a lot of that is inspired by her mom. We'd be driving down the road and mom would just be like, yay! She'd be waving like at a random person. It's I want that. I want to be like that, So yeah, shout out to her too.
I think there are a lot of people that I've met in my life that I aspire to be like. A form of them. I want to be a form of them, right? So, I think one of them that specifically is one of my best friend's moms as well. Not Brenda, of course, is a great person, but this woman has gone through the ringer, right? As a terrible disease that I forgot the name of it, but it's 1 in 1 billion people get it. It's so just rare, and she has to just deal with it. And it's she's still I could call her at any time, and she would have this bright, just hi, how you doing? It's no matter what she goes through, she's always ready to help somebody. And it's just if I could just have that, can I just forget what I'm going through for a minute? Whenever somebody needs me, let me just, and I get it, I'm human, everybody is, but just be ready to help somebody even when you're not ready necessarily to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's I promise whatever happened in your day is not going to be the end of your day, right? Just you can make your day better, basically.
Well, I think about some of the most difficult times in my life, those people that were around me, there's potential for there to be very, very deep networks built from under that will make you way stronger down the road. You look at some teams that in basketball or football that weren't that great and they worked together and they faced the fire together. They're a lot of them are this after that, they're so strong, and so I think that was something beautiful about the YouTube channel was that we were all in it together and we're well, we're just going to help each other out and we're going to stick with it. And that was another thing about the channel too, was we're going to uplift each other. We're going to inspire each other. Sure, we can make poke fun and be stupid or whatever. But overall, that was something that was one of the rules at the very beginning. It's one, you wash your hands before we play with the controllers.
The absolute best rule ever.
We did every single time, every single video, and those controllers still look and play pretty great. And the second rule is that we want this to be an uplifting atmosphere. We want this to help out people. We want people to like be able to check in and like feel like they're on the couch with us. That was always like the goal. Yeah. And I think that was one thing that really helped us to not, there was never any like, we never got so passionate or so angry from that passion that we were like throwing a controller out the window, throwing Kyle out the window, throwing
do we need to remind everybody after the Cardi Cards match, man? I went through that window, man.
Yeah. But like, we didn't actually do anything.
That was they didn't see off camera, man.
I mean, the love always overcame the fear, the negativity, like whatever it was, and that was something that we planned from day one.
Yep.
Above all, love is going to conquer anything else because we're here to spread that. And I could tell, even though I was young, I knew right off the bat that when we're starting with 0, once we're at 1 or 2 or 3, you know, I'd studied YouTube enough that we were going to start making an impact. And so that was something I wanted to see. And that was one of the first things in my life that I got to see. I love the building. I love seeing this build up and grow. And same thing with this. Like right now, this has 8 subscribers last I checked. But as we continue to increase production quality, we're all getting more involved. We're all doing things like, Kyle, you set up this stream. We're streaming from your computer. You know, this isn't one person making this house and now we're all invited. We have this network of houses, and however it works, whatever needs to happen, we make it work. And it's way stronger that way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And like, I just want I just wanted to throw in like some like YouTubers that really inspired me. One of them is Peter McKinnon. And like his is like photography and kind of totally different than what I'm going into, but just how like honest and real he is. And I think that's something that people really want to see. A lot of times there's way too much like polish, like trying to get out every single imperfection that someone has. But when you take that out of a video, it sometimes can take out personality out of the video. And that's why we thought this would be a cool thing where it's just kind of live and like you get all of like the weird things that we do. And I was thinking about like the hand washing, and I just remember like if you didn't wash your hands, Dallin just kind of gives you a stare like,
oh, Dallin just literally chokeslammed you. What do you mean?
Did you not wash your hands? Sorry for that jump scare, but it's just like okay, I'm gonna go do that. And it's like this, it's like it was funny thinking about that.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. And Dallin brings up a great point, and I never really thought about it, but the channel never became bigger than us. You know, it's so easy when, I mean, we had so much success. I mean, the WarioWare videos literally have thousands of views. I mean, that is nuts. We were like, I had to be like 13 or 14 at that point. Like, that is insane to have that much of an impact at that young of an age. I mean, and it's not just from me. I'm just speaking from my point of view. It's so easy to see that type of success and be like, oh, I'm the one doing it, right? Like, I'm the one causing. I'm doing this amount of work, and I'm doing this amount of work, and I'm doing this. It's like, it's so easy for that type of stuff to happen, and it's crazy that it never happened for us, right? There was no, as I said earlier, there was no fights. There was no, you know, I'm sure we had little like times where we had to like step away, you know, for a second, but I mean, those weren't even fights. It was just like stress and us just wanting the video to be good, right? It was all about passion. It wasn't about like, well, this is, you're being stupid. Like, it was never about that. And I think it's so rare to see that, because, you know, I talked about this last podcast, but I compete for League of Legends, and it's so hard to not, or to keep the games like just the game, right? Like, keep it as just the game. Don't bring passion into it, right? Because if you bring passion into it, then that's when you get frustrated with people and you cause fights, right? And it's so difficult to do that, and it's even more difficult when you see the success, right? You see the success and you have this certain expectation now that it's like, okay, this is what we need to be doing, and this is like the level of content we should be able to post. And it's like, when we don't hit that, you know, it's so easy to just like become bigger than the channel, you know what I'm saying? And we never did, and I think that's like, that showed a level of maturity for all of us, because again, I think it's so easy to do.
Yeah, I think having a clear why for something, this is something I've been trying to figure out a lot about recently. It's like, what is the why for Dallin's life? You know, if I just figure that out, it's like, if you have the right why, you can overcome any how and blah, blah, blah.
You know, that's psychologicals of life.
You know, that's something that like I, you know, am passionate about and whatever, but it's like, we had that clear why to redirect us anytime anything was kind of in a certain way. And I do think of it similar to like a campfire. It like warms the people around it. We're not setting a forest on fire, you know? And that's what can happen if you don't have that clear peace of mind or clear things put together. So if this happens, we will still act in X way. And that's something that we decided day one. It's like, hey, friendship and everything, that is the key, number one. You know, that is going to be the most important thing. And that what for us was kind of something that we did. You know, we weren't like beating each other up for content or anything stupid like that. We were genuine and sticking with our goal, and we were all on point, and so we were all able to make a lot more impact.
I mean, genuinely, I think there was only like a handful of fights, period, between us. Not even like, take the content out. I think genuinely there was only like 1 or 2 fights I can actually remember. And like I said, I mean, at a young age, you fight over the stupidest stuff. You can fight over that. You got the purple popsicle, and I got the yellow popsicle, right? It's like, well, I wanted the purple, right? Like, you can fight over the stupidest stuff. And I think genuinely there's only like 1 or 2 fights. And to put it in perspective, I don't even remember what those fights were about. I just remember that there was whatever happened. But I don't even remember what those were about. So that can tell you, like, it was never anything big. It had to be the stupid little kid stuff, right? And like I said, I think it's hard to find where, even though you can be stressed about stuff, even though there's a lot going on and you have these big ambitions, that you stay together and like you stay on the same path, basically. Just realizing, hey, we're all like trying to go down the same road. You know, the moment you think, oh, my road's different than yours, it's like, okay, well, you might as well go ahead and stop, because you're going down the wrong path, basically.
Yeah, I know I'm kind of talking, and James is listening very well. I was just thinking about, like, I have this Curious George and this little mouse, if you give a mouse a cookie thing in the background, right? And I got those from the thrift store where I work right now, and it's a pretty good job. I don't really love it, but like, I went to school for marketing and writing. Like, I'd rather be doing that right now. But because I was there, I was able to get those for like $1 or $2 each. The Curious George and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie have completely different authors. You know, they were written different artists, different illustrators, etc. However, they both were created with the very same thing in mind, to uplift and bless a child's life. And so they both accomplished that. Neither of them is more important than the other. I mean, yes, Curious George had a TV show, and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, I don't think it did. But from my mind, they both accomplished the same thing. They were fighting the same battle. So just wanted to go on that a little bit farther.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, no, that's good. Oh no, it's good. I've been like sending the live stream out to some of my friends, see if they want to join. But like, something that I was thinking about is how, I don't know the best way of putting it. It's like how like life changes. Like I was just thinking about it. It's interesting how we're doing this like video call where you can see our faces. When we were recording like as kids, and like when we were doing the Tanuki Toad team, we did not want you to see our faces.
You didn't know our names.
You didn't know our names. There was videos where when we were using the camera where you could see reflections of people's faces, if you really want to go back and see that. But it's in like, sometimes we would try to like edit that out because we're just like, no one can know who we are. It was kind of a thing like back then. There was a lot of things with that, but I think it's interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, that's one thing. But I think it's interesting how we adapt and how we learn and how we grow, and how it's like now like a faceless YouTube gaming channel, like that doesn't make sense for us. Like we want to be able to connect with people, and we want to be able to share something more than just like video games, like something that like deeper. and it's interesting with all of us and the different directions that we've gone and the things that we've like gained skill sets in, and how those can still complement each other today. Oh.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Because I mean, again, it's you're in different spots in life. You know, like you continue to move forward. At the end of the day, life's not going to stop. And so everybody's at a different spot in their life. You know, I am, James is, Dallin is. So, you know, and I think as we continue to grow in life, at the end of the day, you know, we still complement each other in some way, shape, or form, regardless of where each other are at in life. And that's just based off of the friendship that we've had for however long it is.
Yeah, I literally have my pants in the background right now. On my bed. I mean, I'm wearing pants, but like I'm wearing joggers right now. I'm
exactly chilling. What I meant, but yeah.
It's like we don't like. Who knows what will happen? You know, like 2 weeks ago when we did the first one, I don't think I had those. The Curious George, the Turtle, and the If You Give a Mouse Cookie. Those are all very close developments, very recent. Same thing with that picture of Captain Moroni. I'm pretty sure that's really new. And my pants weren't on the bed last time.
That's good. That's good.
New developments.
I won't have my pants on my bed next time.
Like one thing,
it'll be shorts.
In like giving people context, like some more context of like growing up and stuff, is like we weren't like, we made a ton of videos, but we weren't like workhorses. Like we were having fun, like we were having a good time, like we were just working hard, playing hard. And there'd be times like where it'd be recording upstairs where like our studio was, and then we would go downstairs and grab dinner or something, or like have a quick family prayer, or like grab a little snack before like jumping back into playing a game and recording or starting a live stream. And it was just like this time where everything lined up. Like we really didn't have super busy schedules. Like even now, like getting this to work, it takes some work. Like it's hard, but it's worth it. And it was worth it then too, because we're able to learn from each other and like grow. And I think that's one of the awesome things with YouTube, is when you watch different creators on YouTube a ton, like you get to know those people and you learn a lot from them. You can be impacted by them. It's almost like a friendship, except it's like they don't really know you super well, but you really get to know these people and you really get to connect with them. And I think it's a super powerful thing, the impact that you can make.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I mean, again, it's like you said. I mean, we weren't just like. I think, well, a lot of people like mistake those videos back in the day, is that they were always a grind, right? Like people always thought that, like, you know, we had to put like, you know, a lot of like, of course we put effort and time into it, but that doesn't make it a grind, right? I think it got to be that after a while, which is why we ended it. If I'm being honest, that's why I wanted to end. It got grindy. It got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm not enjoying this anymore. It's the expectation was too high for me, because it was one of those things where I was like, this is nothing we can do is going to be good enough, because my expectation is way too high at this point. Because I've seen our peak and I know that we're not at it. And so it's one of those things where it was like, okay, we're not going to reach where I want us to be at, and it's gotten to the point where it's really grindy. And so at that point it was just like, all right, this is probably just best to cut it. And you know, I don't think any of us regret that. I think at the end of the day, we're all at different points in our lives to begin with. I think it would have been hard to have continued to have made the content that we were making. And, you know, like I said, I think I said this a dozen times to Dallin, that it was just like, you know, I would straight up just ask him, what are we doing? Like why are we doing this? Like what? Like I think we forgot the why after a while, and we were just doing it to do it.
I agree. I think another part of it too was we were trying to adapt to changes, but some of those changes basically made it so the original channel couldn't exist anymore. So now we're creating a new channel in the same channel. which does not work
Yep.
with an audience because people were watching the channel because of the multiplayer content, etc. And I was doing my own stuff just to help me with improving commentary, which was fine as long as there was still multiplayer. But then it got to this point where I was having people over that weren't part of the original team, and and so there's just, it's just not the same channel, and it feels like a different channel, which at that point it just kind of, it would have been better obviously to end it earlier. I wanted to end it earlier, but it was hard. There's sunk costs, there's a lot of different things. Identity was very tied up in it, and such. But I did want to share one quick analogy that came to mind because I've been watching basketball recently. The original 2012, 2013 Snooki